Hello, Matujame, and you're watching Hornbill TV's Prime at 9. The Nationalist Democratic Progressive Party (NDPP) has clarified that Chief Minister Nipirio was never summoned nor questioned by the ED till date. The statement from party came after the news being circulated on some electronic, print and social media about Chief Minister Nipirio being summoned and questioned by the Enforcement Directorate. In a press statement issued by the NDPP Media and Communication Committee stated that such malicious false news have been fabricated and spread by unscrupulous elements whose sole intentions are to damage the image of the Chief Minister and defame his name and the office he occupies. The NDPP vehemently condemned the malicious act of tarnishing the name and image of Rio and one of the tallest leaders the state has produced. Such acts of maligning the name and image of any person, let alone a Chief Minister, are highly unacceptable and unbecoming in our society and must be condemned by every right-thinking citizen, it stated. The NDPP informed that all legalities are being put in place in order to identify and apprehend the source of this false and defamatory news, and all legal actions will be pursued so that such acts are not committed in the future. The President and rank and file of the NDPP collectively stand steadfast with the Chief Minister. It also demanded the state government to leave no stone unturned to identify and apprehend the culprits immediately and book them under relevant laws. Delegates of 6 organizations today met Chief Minister N. Biren Singh over the government's decision on legalizing alcohol in the state. However, talk between the two parties failed to reach an agreement. Women organizations along with CADA have been agitating on a large scale against the state government decision to legalize alcohol production and sale. Addressing the press conference today, the representative of women organizations said that they are not ready to accept the government's decision. Apunpa Manipur Kanpa IMA Loop AMKIL President Lorem Pam Nangpi said they will continue with their democratic agitation process until and unless the government decides to roll back its decision.
From 1991 to till now, there is no relationship in this connection. So I said them to CM that if you are preparing the process, tell us what process. We do not have, we are not informed by you, and if you regulate the strengthening and the council of prohibition, tell us, but they never tell us, they're silent. And Biren Singh, Honorable CM, wanted to regulate some points, but we said, if you want to regulate some point, it should be strengthened and to regulate the Prohibition Act and not to legalize the wine system like this.
Just one small question. CM has earlier said that he will not withdraw the act. So, will you people continue the agitation that you were carrying out for this long time?
Yeah, CM told his fixed word, but yesterday he did not give the fixed word. We are narrating each and the other, but we fixed them. We will give you some time, and we will proceed our protest.
2 Supreme Court judges today differed on whether Karnataka's ban on the hijab in classrooms should stay or go, and called for a larger bench to take it up. The 2-judge bench, delivering a split verdict, agreed that there is a divergence of opinion and recommended that the Chief Justice of India constitute a 3-judge bench to decide on whether the ban stays. While Justice Himan Gupta backed the ban on the hijab in educational institutions, Justice Sudhanshu Dhulia said he respectfully disagreed and that the ban should go as the education of girls is most important. The main thrust, he said, should have been the matter of choice. Justice Gupta raised 11 questions in his order.
लिहाजा अपने मुल्क के कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के आर्टिकल 25 में भी और 21 में भी, जिसमें कि राइट टू लाइफ एंड पर्सनल लिबर्टी का तस्करा है, उसके तहत भी तमाम शहरियों को इस बात का हक़ है कि वो अपने हिसाब से अपने मज़हब को फॉलो करें।
एक इसको आगे बेंच को दे दिया है, तो मैं कुछ भी हो, जज साहब, सुप्रीम कोर्ट के माननीय आदरणीय जज महोदय जो भी फैसला करेंगे आने वाले दिन के लिए बेंच को दे देना
है। ये लेडी का अपना चॉइस है, तो इस पॉइंट के ऊपर भी उन्होंने एम्फेसिस दिया है। और तीसरा पॉइंट जो इम्पोर्टेंट उन्होंने बोला है कि जो बच्चों की तालीम और एजुकेशन का मामला है वो बड़ा इम्पोर्टेंट है, और बच्चों की तालीम के लिए हमें ऐसा कोई काम या ऐसी कोई चीज जिसमें उनकी एजुकेशन के ऊपर रुकावट आए, तो उस चीज का उन्होंने एम्फेसिस दिया है कि ऐसा कोई काम जो है उसके खिलाफ है, बच्चे की एजुकेशन के खिलाफ है।
Justice Dhulia has differed with his view, and he has expressed that he has a differing view because a girl child faces a lot of problems while they are being sent to the schools and colleges, and their right to education is more important than wearing or not.
Muslim students have challenged the Karnataka government's ban on the hijab on campus. The February 5 ban order referred to clothes that disturb the quality, integrity and public order in schools and colleges and compared hijabs to Hindus wearing bindis and Sikhs wearing turbans. On March 15, the Karnataka High Court refused to remove the ban and dismissed the request of Muslim students to be allowed to wear the hijab in class, ruling that it is not essential for practicing Islam. The students challenged the High Court order before the Supreme Court. Karnataka government on Thursday said the High Court's order upholding the ban on the hijab in educational institutions in the state will continue pending a final decision in the Supreme Court, which today pronounced a split verdict on appeals challenging the restriction on girls and women wearing the headscarves in schools and colleges. State Education Minister B.C. Nagesh said that the ban on wearing hijab in educational institutions in the state will remain for now. Shortly after the Supreme Court delivered its split verdict, the minister said to be expecting a better judgment, stating that women worldwide are demanding to not wear the hijab and the burqa.
Supreme Court of India heard the case and they are going to give a judgment. It may be positive to government or it may be positive to the applicants, it doesn't matter. But whatever it say, whatever the Supreme Court says, it's a law under one part, it's nothing but law under Article 145 of the Indian Constitution. So one has to follow it without any hesitation. So it's very happy. That's because it happened to be a very controversial issue in Karnataka with regard to hijab. So Supreme Court is going to dissolve all the redressals or disputes in between the people and the government as far as hijab is concerned. So very happy to note that the government, Supreme Court is going to decide the fact. But in the meanwhile, some advocates expressed that it should be referred to the constitutional bench. If it is that question doesn't arise because it's a very a case in between the two applicant petitions and state government. So it's not a big issue to be transferred to the constitutional bench.
Female vendors of e-marketers of women's markets erupted in protest on Thursday, demanding that the Manipur state government enact an e-marketel policy to safeguard the interest of female vendors in the 3 e-marketels or women's markets. They blocked one of the busiest roads in Imphal, BT Road. However, police soon arrived at the spot and diverted the commuters. The city police had a hard time controlling the protesting movement as to ensure a smooth passage for traffic. The police had to fire smoke bombs to disperse the protesters. 2 women sustained serious injuries and were admitted to the IMS hospital. The main concern of the vendors is that markets inside the 3 marketers had been diluted in recent past due to the growth of unauthorized street vendors in the city. On a number of occasions, there had been violent conflicts between the street vendors and female vendors of e-marketers. It was informed that there had been talks with the government, but so far the government has not enacted what they called e-marketers policy. They also demanded that the government should provide appropriate places for street vendors, otherwise the historically important e-marketer will be further diluted. They were planning to conduct a public rally up to the Chief Minister's Secretariat, but the police thwarted their attempts. The ruling DMK's Youth and Students Wing has announced a statewide protest in Tamil Nadu against the recommendation of the parliamentary panel to make Hindi the medium of instruction in central educational institutes. The Dravida Munitra Kazgam Youth Wing Secretary Utya Nithi Stalin and Students Wing Secretary CVMP Hezila Rassan jointly released a statement on Wednesday in which they announced a protest against the central government's Hindi imposition policies. DMK has planned protests across Tamil Nadu on October 15. The moves comes after Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin condemned the centre against the alleged imposition of Hindi language. Stalin in his statement listed out the sacrifices youngsters made in history against Hindi imposition and said not to impose another language war on the people.
They have first started imposing Hindi in the A group states directly. They have given recommendation to the President to implement that the states in which Hindi is, most of the people are speaking Hindi, they have to follow the following norms. Central government organizations in that states should communicate themselves in English, Hindi only. They have to dispense with English. In the place of English, the Hindi should be replaced in technical and non-technical institutions. They have to follow the official language, that is the medium of instruction, Hindi. And in government offices, central government offices, all the recruitments must be done through the advertisements in Hindi, through the interviews in Hindi, question papers in Hindi. And also, when they are recruited, the people who are appointed should know the Hindi in the first stage itself. When they are coming for an interview and then they come in for a competitive examination, they must be knowing Hindi. Then only they will be appointed in the in that post, particular post of Indian government. And they have also declared that without imposing Hindi in education institutions, we cannot make the Hindi as an official language and the common language throughout India, only one language formula. So we have to replace Hindi instead of English. Then only we can succeed in our attempt of imposing Hindi throughout India. That is the main thrust of the recommendation. If you go through that recommendation, their plan is to spread Hindi throughout India slowly. First part in the A group state, second part in the B group state, and finally they will give us onslaught to the southern states which are not speaking Hindi directly. So, our organization, the World Tamil Organization, and Coimbatore Tamil Changamam, Tamil Kapu Kuttiyakam, yesterday organized a meeting of all the Tamil and literary organizations which are in Coimbatore and in and around Coimbatore. About 50 organizations representatives participated in the meeting. They deliberated for 3 hours. They felt that the Hindi is imposed by the central government directly and indirectly. This is the correct situation to react, and we have to bring to the notice of the President of India, Honorable Prime Minister of India, that these recommendations will spoil the harmony between the people from one state to another state. We are for India, we are for Bharat, we are for one nation, but we don't want to split or divide states in 3 or 4 categories. So, please don't implement the recommendation of the Parliamentary Standing Committee for official languages. You withhold the recommendations. That is the only motto of the agenda of the meeting, and all the associations unanimously decided to press those demands to the President of India and Prime Minister. We will have a dharna in front of the Red Cross building on Friday, that is 14th at 4:30 p.m.
So do you mean that one day protest will end this situation?
It is the beginning of the opposition, and we will continue to hold some other form of agitations. We will go to the people, we will go to the parliamentarians, we will go to the political party leaders. We will have a demo. We will bring it to the notice of all the people.
Days after he questioned the Bharatiya Janata Party and the inauguration of the new office in Guwahati, Assam Congress chief Bhupen Bora has been slapped with a notice over his own property. The Guwahati Municipal Corporation has served notice to Bora, asking him to furnish a no objection certificate and an approved plan for his building located at Goramara in Guwahati within 3 days. The Assam Pradesh Congress Committee alleges that the land on which the BJP has built its new party office was bought by the State Water Resource Department in 1967. BJP leader and mayor of GMC, Mrigan Saranya, has however refuted the allegations.
Yes, today I have received one notice from GMC that I have to submit the documents of my house within 3 days, and they will verify whether my house has been constructed legally or illegally. But very sorry to say that there is no single house in Guwahati in my name. Definitely a house is in Guwahati in the name of my wife, Dr. Mousumi Bora, and she is Associate Professor of Guwahati Medical College and Hospital. And now I want to ask the same question to Honorable Chief Minister of Assam, that once upon a time, few years back, and there was a question regarding News Live channel, then Chief Minister himself replied that I am not owner of the channel, my wife is owner of the channel, so I am not compelled to reply about News Live. So now I want to ask Honorable Chief Minister of Assam that as I am not owner of the house legally and documents is not in my name and I have never applied for any permission from the GMC, so how can they serve the notice to me?
That's all we have for now. Keep watching Hornbill TV.